I wasn't insulting him. Let me be very clear about that from the start, because everyone's acting like I'm some terrible person when all I did was state a fact. A simple observation, a reality check. I wasn't being mean, I was being realistic. I literally meant he doesn't get bothered by girls online, and that's a good thing. That's a positive. That means I don't have to deal with random women sliding into his DMs at all hours. I don't have to worry about thirsty comments under his photos. I don't have to compete with Instagram models, or worry about him getting his ego stroked by strangers. That's a blessing, not an insult. Not every comment is an attack. People joke about looks all the time. Friends roast each other. Couples tease each other. That's normal. That's what people do when they're comfortable with each other. He knows I'm blunt. That's just my personality. I've always been direct. I say what I think. I don't sugarcoat things or dance around topics. That's one of the things he said he liked about me when we first started dating. He said it was refreshing. Now suddenly it's a problem. I don't understand why he got so cold over one comment. One single comment about Instagram photos. Not about him as a person, not about our relationship, just about his social media presence. And honestly, if anything, I was complimenting him. I was saying he's secure enough that I don't have to worry. That he's not one of those guys who needs constant validation from strangers online. That he's confident in himself without needing likes and comments to feel good. He should feel secure about that. But here I am, sitting on a curb at 11 at night, my phone shaking in my hand, trying to figure out how a simple joke turned into this. Trying to figure out how I ended up locked out of my own home. Well, his home, technically. But I practically live there. Or I did, before tonight. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit hype to boost this episode. Drop a comment below with your city or country. I'm always curious where viewers are joining from. We'd been together for almost a year. Good year for the most part. Normal relationship stuff, dinners, movies, lazy Sundays, arguments about stupid things that we'd laugh about later. We met through mutual friends at a birthday party. He wasn't the type I usually went for. Not the loudest guy in the room, not the center of attention. Just nice, steady. The kind of person you could talk to for hours without realizing how much time had passed. Our first date was coffee that turned into dinner, that turned into walking around the city until midnight. He made me laugh, made me feel comfortable, made me feel like I could be myself, or at least the version of myself I wanted him to see. He'd been a little quieter lately, I guess, a little more withdrawn, but I figured he was stressed about work. He'd been putting in extra hours, coming home tired. There was this big project his team was working on, something about a product launch that kept getting delayed. I didn't ask about it much. Didn't really engage when he tried to talk about it. Looking back, I can see that now. How his eyes would light up when he started explaining something technical, and how they'd dim when he realized I wasn't really listening. How I'd scroll through my phone while he talked. How I'd changed the subject to something about me. How I'd made our entire relationship revolve around my needs, my interests, my schedule. But I didn't think it was about us. I didn't think it was about me. I thought we were fine. Better than fine, actually. I thought I was lucky to have found someone so low maintenance. Someone who didn't demand constant attention or validation. Someone who was just there, reliable, consistent, boring, maybe, but in a comfortable way. But looking back now, maybe I should have paid more attention. Maybe I should have noticed the way he'd go quiet sometimes when I was talking. Not the comfortable silence of someone content to listen, but the resigned silence of someone who'd stopped trying to be heard. The way he'd just nod and smile instead of responding with actual thoughts or opinions. The way he'd become smaller somehow, taking up less space in conversations, in photos, in our relationship. The way he'd stopped posting photos of us together on Instagram. I'd noticed that last one, actually. It bothered me a little. Not a lot, just enough to bring it up. Because if I'm being honest, it bothered me for the wrong reasons. It wasn't that I missed being celebrated or shown off. It was that I wanted people to know he was taken. Wanted people to see that I had a boyfriend. Wanted the social proof that I was in a relationship. But I didn't think about what it meant that he'd stopped wanting to show me off. Didn't think about what I might have done to make him not want to be seen with me publicly. Didn't think about how maybe he'd realize that every time he posted us, I'd critique the photo. Ugh, delete that. I look terrible. Why did you use that one? Find a better one. Can you crop it differently? My arms look huge. And he would. Every time. He'd delete and repost and edit and try again until I approved. Until I'd worn him down so much he just stopped trying. So one night I brought it up. How come you never post us anymore? He was scrolling through his phone, barely looking up. I don't post much of anything anymore. You post your coffee, your dog, the sunset, just not me. Does it matter? I mean, it's kind of weird. Are you embarrassed of me or something? He looked at me then, really looked at me. No, I'm not embarrassed of you. Then what is it? He sighed. I just don't feel like being online as much lately. But you're on Instagram right now. Scrolling isn't posting. Whatever. I dropped it because I didn't want to seem needy or insecure. But it stuck with me. That feeling of being hidden, of not being shown off. So when the thing happened, when I made the comment, maybe there was some of that underneath it. Some petty part of me wanting to poke at him a little. Not to hurt him, just to, I don't know, get a reaction, remind him that I had options too, that I could be posting guys who got more attention if I wanted. But I didn't think of it that way at the time. At the time, I really thought I was just making a casual observation. It was a Thursday night. We were at his place, on the couch, both scrolling through our phones, not really talking, just existing in the same space. The TV was on in the background, some show neither of us was watching, just noise to fill the silence. This had become our routine lately. Come home, eat dinner, sit on the couch, scroll. Sometimes we'd make comments about things we saw online. Sometimes we wouldn't. It was comfortable, easy, mindless. I came across this guy's Instagram, someone I went to college with, Jake something. We'd never been close, just had a class together sophomore year. He'd gotten really into fitness, apparently, and his page was full of shirtless gym photos, progress shots, transformation posts, the kind of content that gets ridiculous engagement. Thousands of likes on every photo, hundreds of comments, mostly from women, heart emojis, fire emojis, peach emojis, comments like, wow, and looking good, and things I won't repeat that were way more explicit. I laughed and showed my phone to my boyfriend. Look at this. Remember Jake from my marketing class? He glanced at it without much interest. Okay? Look at all these thirsty comments. His DMs must be insane. I scrolled through more of them, reading some out loud, amused and slightly disgusted by how forward these women were being. Some of them weren't even subtle. Just straight up propositioning him in the comments section for everyone to see. He shrugged. Good for him, I guess. I scrolled through more of the comments, fascinated by the spectacle of it all. This is why I like dating confident men, I said casually, not looking up from my phone. You don't need validation from strangers online. He made a non-committal sound. That little that could mean agreement or acknowledgement or nothing at all. I kept going, still scrolling, still not really thinking about my words. You're safe, though. Nobody's sliding into your DMs with stuff like this. I laughed as I read another particularly bold comment from someone named Brittany Fit. He looked up from his phone. What does that mean? There was something in his voice, something sharp, different from his usual tone. But I didn't catch it. Didn't hear the warning. I shrugged, smiling, still in my own world. Relax. I just mean girls won't bother you with thirsty messages. You're not exactly attention-grabbing online. I said it so casually, so matter-of-factly, like I was commenting on the weather, like I was saying something neutral and obvious that we both already knew. I laughed, like it was funny, like it was a shared observation we could both appreciate, like I wasn't cutting him down in his own living room while sitting on his couch in his apartment. He didn't laugh. His face went completely neutral. That's what I remember most clearly. Not anger, not hurt, just nothing, like a mask sliding into place, like shutters closing, like watching someone decide something in real time. I kept talking, oblivious, trying to clarify because his silence was making me uncomfortable. I just mean you don't post thirst traps or anything. You post normal stuff, coffee, your dog, random clouds, nothing that would make girls act like this. Still nothing. Which is good, I added, feeling the need to fill the silence. I'd never worry about someone trying to steal you or sliding in with heart eyes. Your photos kind of protect you from all that nonsense. The words hung in the air. Heavy, wrong. I realized, a beat too late, that maybe that came out wrong. I just mean silence. Complete, heavy silence. He set his phone down slowly, deliberately. The way you set something down when you need your hands free for what comes next. Then he stood up, calmly, quietly, and said, in a voice so even it was almost scary, "Good. Then you'll be safer outside tonight." I blinked, tried to process the words, tried to make them make sense. What? He walked to the door, grabbed his jacket from the hook, opened the door wide. I laughed nervously. Okay, dramatic much? He didn't smile. You don't need protection here if nobody wants me. You said it yourself. I'm invisible, safe, not attention-grabbing. I didn't mean, you said I'm protected by my boring photos, so you'll be safe outside, safer than being with someone nobody notices. My brain couldn't process what was happening. Stop being weird. He gestured to the open door. Go cool off. I need space. You're kicking me out? I'm giving you what you apparently think you deserve. Safety from being seen with someone as forgettable as me. I stood up, grabbed my phone, still thinking this was some weird bluff, some dramatic gesture he'd drop any second. Fine, whatever. Act like a baby. I walked toward the door, expected him to stop me, expected him to say wait or come on, or literally anything. He didn't. I stepped outside, turned around, and watched him close the door. Not slam it, just close it, calmly, quietly. And then I heard it. The lock, click, then the deadbolt, thunk. My heart dropped into my stomach. I stood there for a second, frozen. This wasn't happening. This was a joke. He'd open the door any second and we'd laugh about how ridiculous this was. But the door stayed closed. I knocked lightly. Okay, stop. You're being childish. Nothing. I knocked harder. Seriously, open up. This isn't funny. Silence. I pulled out my phone and texted him. This is stupid. Let me in. The message showed as delivered, but no response. I waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Then my phone buzzed. A text from him. You said I'm invisible. You'll be safer outside than I am online. I stared at the message, reread it. What the heck was that supposed to mean? I typed back, I was joking. Stop being so sensitive. No response. I called him. It rang once, then went to voicemail. He'd declined the call, actively declined it. My chest got tight. This was real. He really wasn't letting me back in. I looked around, really looked around for the first time since stepping outside. It was late, almost 11. The complex was one of those mid-range places. Not luxury, but nice enough. Well-lit parking lot. Maintained landscaping. The kind of place young professionals rent when they're doing okay but not great. The complex was quiet but not empty. A couple was walking their dog across the parking lot. A golden retriever pulling on its leash, excited about the late-night walk. They were laughing about something, holding hands with their free hands. An older guy was getting something from his car, a gym bag maybe, or groceries. He slammed his trunk and headed toward his building. A woman was coming home with grocery bags. I could see the Whole Foods logo on one of them. She was fumbling with her keys while trying not to drop anything. And there I was, standing outside my boyfriend's door in leggings and a tank top. No jacket, even though it was probably 50 degrees. No purse, no wallet, no keys, no phone charger, which meant eventually my phone would die. And then what? Just my phone with 43% battery. I'd left everything inside, everything I needed, everything that made me a functional human being. The woman with groceries glanced at me as she passed. Her eyes did that thing, that quick assessment women do, taking in the situation, judging, wondering. I looked away quickly, tried to look casual, like I was just getting some air, just enjoying the evening, just hanging out on someone's doorstep at 11 p.m. in the cold without a jacket. Totally normal behavior. The couple with the dog walked past on their way back to their building. The woman smiled politely, that neighborly smile that doesn't mean anything, just acknowledging another human exists. "Nice night," she said. "Yeah," I managed to say. My voice sounded weird, tight, fake. They kept walking. The man said something to the woman, too quiet for me to hear, but they both glanced back at me. And I knew. I knew they were talking about me, about the girl sitting on the steps, about whatever drama was clearly unfolding. I forced a smile back, feeling my face burn with embarrassment. Inside, I was panicking, full-on internal meltdown. Where was I supposed to go? I couldn't drive anywhere. My keys were inside. My car was in the parking lot, completely useless to me. I couldn't buy anything. My wallet was inside. I had approximately $0 in liquid assets at this moment. I couldn't even go sit in a coffee shop and wait this out because I had no money and everything was closing anyway. Starbucks closes at 10. The diner on the corner closes at 11. There was literally nowhere to go. I could call Maya, but she lived 40 minutes away, and she had work in the morning. And what would I even say? "Hey, can you drive almost an hour round trip to pick me up because I insulted my boyfriend and he locked me out?" I sat down on the steps leading up to his door, pulled my knees up to my chest, trying to conserve warmth, trying to look like I was just sitting outside by choice, just enjoying the night air. At 11 p.m., in 50-degree weather, without a jacket, on purpose, sure. Very believable. A couple more people walked by. Each time, I tried to look absorbed in my phone, like I was just texting someone, just scrolling casually, just passing time while waiting for something. Not sitting here because I'd been literally locked out of my boyfriend's apartment like some kind of rom-com gone wrong. Except this wasn't funny. This wasn't cute. This was humiliating, and it was getting colder. Now I refreshed my messages. Nothing. The screen just showed our last conversation from this morning. Him asking if I wanted Thai or pizza for dinner. Me saying Thai. Him sending a thumbs-up emoji. So normal. So mundane. So completely disconnected from where we were now. I refreshed again. Still nothing. I went to Instagram. Started scrolling mindlessly. Anything to distract myself from the situation. From the cold, from the shame. I watched stories, liked random posts, commented a heart emoji on my friend's photo of her cat. Normal things. Things that made me feel less like someone sitting on a step at midnight because her boyfriend locked her out. And then I saw it. A new post. From him. My heart stopped. Actually stopped for a second before hammering back to life twice as fast. He'd posted a photo. He never posted. That was the whole point. That's what I'd been making fun of. His complete lack of Instagram presence. But there it was. A new post. It wasn't anything special. Not a thirst trap. Not some carefully composed shot. Just a selfie. Simple. Clean. Good lighting from his bedroom lamp. He was wearing the grey t-shirt I'd told him made him look washed out. It didn't make him look washed out. He looked good, really good. Why had I never noticed that before? But it was the caption that made my blood run cold, made my stomach drop, made everything suddenly very, very real. Being safe means being disrespected. I'm done feeling invisible. I stared at the screen, read it again, and again, and again. He'd posted about me, about what I said, put it out there for everyone to see, made our private moment public, made my careless comment into a statement. The post was 2 minutes old, already had 15 likes, already had 3 comments. I watched the number tick up as I stared, 20 likes, 30 likes. The comments were rolling in. People I knew, people he knew, mutual friends, his co-workers, random followers I'd never heard of. You're not invisible to me. Whoever made you feel small didn't deserve you. You're literally so attractive, what? Their loss honestly, king, facts. You're glowing in this pic. Heart emojis, fire emojis, crown emojis, every kind of supportive emoji. And girls. So many girls commenting. Girls I'd never seen comment on his stuff before. Girls I didn't even know followed him. Girls who apparently had been there all along, just waiting for permission to speak up. Waiting for me to be out of the picture. Sarah from his gym. Coffee this weekend. Would love to catch up. Someone named Emma. Your ex didn't know what she had. How did Emma know we broke up? He must have told people. Must have been talking about it. Another. Finally posting again. Missed your face. Jessica from his work. Been telling you you're a catch. Glad you're finally seeing it. Had they been talking about me? Had he been venting to his co-workers about me? A girl I'd met once at a party. Free Friday? My stomach twisted into knots, tighter and tighter with each comment. What had I done? What had I unleashed? I kept refreshing, kept torturing myself. 60 likes, 100 likes, more comments flooding in, people supporting him, validating him, giving him all the attention I'd mockingly said he never got, proving me wrong in real time. And the worst part? I couldn't comment, couldn't defend myself, couldn't explain or clarify or control the narrative, because commenting would make it worse, would make me look desperate, would make me look like I was watching, would prove I cared, would prove this was about me. So I just sat there, refreshing, watching, dying inside, watching my boyfriend transform from someone nobody noticed to someone everyone suddenly wanted. All because I'd told him nobody wanted him. Mirror-fired. I couldn't stop refreshing. Couldn't stop watching the comments multiply. Each one felt like a punch. A girl from his gym. Coffee this weekend? Someone named Jessica. Finally posting again. Missed your face. A mutual friend of ours. About time you realized your worth. That last one stung the most, because it was someone who knew us both, someone who could infer exactly what happened, someone who was publicly taking his side. I wanted to comment, wanted to explain, wanted to say it was a joke, or he's overreacting or something, but I couldn't, because commenting would make it worse, would make me look desperate, would prove I was watching, prove I cared. So I just sat there, refreshing, watching, dying inside. People kept coming home to the complex. A guy walking past looked at me twice. You okay? I'm fine. You sure? You've been sitting there a while. Had I? How long had it been? I checked the time. Almost midnight. I'd been outside for over an hour. Yeah, I'm just waiting for someone. All right, stay safe. He walked away, and I sat there, phone in hand, watching strangers validate my boyfriend while I sat locked out in the cold. Finally, after what felt like hours, my phone buzzed. A text from him. I didn't kick you out to punish you. I did it so you'd feel what it's like to be dismissed casually. I read it 3 times. My fingers flew across the keyboard. I didn't mean it like that. The typing bubbles appeared immediately. I know exactly how you meant it. You said it laughing. I felt tears starting to form. It was a joke. You know I joke around. Do I? Because I've been thinking about all your jokes lately. What did that mean? What are you talking about? The bubbles appeared and disappeared several times. Then, every time we're out and you see a guy you think is attractive, you point it out. Every time you show me someone's Instagram, it's someone who looks nothing like me. Every time you talk about your exes, you mention something they had that I don't. My chest tightened. That's not fair, isn't it? I wasn't comparing you to anyone. You compared me to everyone, every single day. You just did it casually enough that I was supposed to laugh along. I didn't know what to say to that. I'm staying at my brother's, he continued. We'll talk tomorrow. You can come get your stuff when you're ready. Wait, what? You're breaking up with me over a comment about Instagram. No, I'm breaking up with you because you made me feel invisible while looking right at me. The Instagram comment was just the last one. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely type. Please don't do this. I'll leave your purse and keys with the front desk. Good night. And then nothing. No matter how many times I texted, no matter how many times I called, nothing. I sat there until almost 1 a.m., finally accepted that he wasn't coming back tonight, that I needed to figure out what to do. I walked to the front desk of the complex. The night attendant looked at me with barely disguised curiosity. Can I help you? My boyfriend said he'd leave some stuff here for me. She checked her computer. Name? I gave his name. She nodded and went to a back room. Came back with my purse and keys, in a plastic bag, like I was picking up lost property. Here you go. Thanks. I took the bag and walked out, got in my car, sat in the driver's seat, and finally let myself cry. Really cry. Not pretty crying, ugly crying. The kind where you can't breathe right and your face gets all hot and splotchy, because it was hitting me. All of it. He was serious. He was actually done. And it was my fault. I drove to my friend Maya's place. She let me in without asking too many questions, just handed me tissues and made tea. I told her everything. Well, my version of everything. I made one comment about his Instagram photos and he completely lost it. She raised an eyebrow. What did you say exactly? I hesitated. I just said that he doesn't get a lot of attention online, that I don't have to worry about girls bothering him. And how did you phrase that? Why did everyone keep asking me that? I said his photos protect him because nobody really notices him. Maya's face did this thing, this expression I couldn't quite read. You told him nobody notices him. Not like that. I meant he doesn't get thirsty comments from random girls. But that's not what you said. It's what I meant. Is it? I didn't answer, couldn't answer, because sitting there in Maya's apartment, replaying it in my head, I was starting to realize something. Maybe it wasn't what I meant. Maybe, on some level, I did mean it exactly how it sounded. Maya made me coffee, sat across from me. Can I be honest with you? I nodded, not sure I wanted to hear it. You do this a lot. Do what? Make little comments about guys' appearances, about who's hot and who's not, about your boyfriend not measuring up to some invisible standard. I do not. You do. Remember when we all went out last month and you kept talking about how hot the bartender was, right in front of him? That was just... Or when you showed him that TikTok of your ex and said you miss when he used to look like that. I opened my mouth, closed it. Or literally every time we watch a movie and you comment on the actors and then look at him and say something like, "Not everyone can be Chris Hemsworth." Those were jokes. Were they? Because nobody was laughing. I felt defensive, attacked. He never said it bothered him. Did you ask? No, I hadn't asked. I just assumed he was fine with it, assumed he knew I was joking, assumed he was secure enough to handle it. But what if he wasn't? What if every joke landed like a tiny cut? What if I'd been slowly bleeding him out and calling it honesty? I couldn't help myself. I checked his Instagram again. The post was still up. The comments had multiplied, over 300 now. I scrolled through them, each one worse than the last. Girls offering to take him out, friends saying he deserved better, people I didn't even know saying they'd always thought he was attractive. And then I saw it. A comment from his ex-girlfriend, the one from college, the one he'd dated for 2 years before me. Glad you're finally seeing yourself clearly. My blood boiled. What did that mean? Was she implying I'd made him not see himself clearly? Was she implying she'd treated him better? I clicked on her profile. She'd posted a story, a screenshot of his post with text over it. Some people will make you forget how amazing you are. Don't let them. She was posting about me, about us, taking his side publicly. I wanted to message her, wanted to defend myself, wanted to explain that she didn't know the whole story, but I couldn't, because what would I even say? Actually, I do think he's invisible online, and I'm totally justified in saying so. I had no defense, no explanation that didn't make me sound terrible. So I just sat there, watching his ex get likes and supportive comments for calling me out without naming me. By noon the next day, our friend group chat was buzzing. I'd been removed from it, found out because someone texted me privately. Hey, just so you know, he asked us to make a new group without you, said he needed space. My heart sank. What did he tell them? Just that you guys broke up and he doesn't want things to be awkward. Did he say why we broke up? No, but everyone saw his post. Right. The post, the evidence, the public statement that I'd made him feel invisible. Are people mad at me? The pause before the response told me everything. People are on his side. Yeah. Of course they were, because he'd been smart about it. He hadn't named me, hadn't told them what I said specifically, just made himself the victim, and everyone filled in the blanks. I wanted to call him, wanted to demand he take down the post, wanted to tell him he was being manipulative and petty, wanted to point out that he'd humiliated me publicly, wanted to say he was overreacting to one stupid comment. I drafted the message 12 times. You're being ridiculous. It was one joke. Delete. You seriously ruined our relationship over Instagram. Delete. Everyone thinks I'm a terrible person now because of your dramatic post. Delete, because even as I typed them, I knew how they'd sound. Defensive, deflective. Exactly what he'd expect, exactly what would prove his point. So I didn't send anything. Just sat with my anger and my hurt and my confusion. The truth that I couldn't say out loud, I did think he was kind of invisible, not in a mean way, just in a realistic way. He wasn't the type of guy who turned heads, wasn't the type who got hit on at bars, wasn't the type who had girls fighting over him. And I'd been okay with that, more than okay. I'd liked it, liked feeling like the prize, liked being the more attractive one in the relationship, liked not having to compete or worry. But I'd never thought about what that meant for him, never thought about how it felt to be with someone who saw you as safe because you weren't desirable enough to lose. Never thought about the subtle hierarchy I'd created where I was the one doing him a favor. And now that I was thinking about it, I hated myself a little, because he'd been nothing but good to me. Faithful, kind, supportive, and I'd repaid that by making him feel less than, by treating him like a placeholder, like someone I could keep around until someone better came along. Except I never thought someone better would come along, because I'd convinced myself he was the best I'd get. Not because he was amazing, but because I thought I was settling. And he'd known. Somehow he'd known. And he'd finally had enough. Ciao. Maya found me crying on her couch that night. You okay? No, she sat down next to me. Want to talk about it? I think I'm a terrible person. You're not a terrible person. I am, though. He was right. About everything. She didn't argue, just waited. I did make him feel invisible. I did compare him. I did treat him like he wasn't good enough. Did you love him? I thought about it. Really thought about it. I don't know. I think I loved the idea of him. Loved having a boyfriend. Loved not being alone. But did I love him? Did I actually value him as a person? The answer sat heavy in my chest. I don't think I did. His Instagram kept growing. More followers, more likes, more comments from people who'd never noticed him before. And he started posting more. Not just sad quotes or vague statements, actual photos. Him at the gym, him with friends, him looking genuinely happy. And the comments poured in, validating him, hyping him up, giving him all the attention I'd said he never got, proving me wrong. I watched it all happen, watched him bloom in real time, watched girls I knew, girls who'd been at parties where I'd subtly put him down, suddenly discover how attractive he was. And I realized he'd never been invisible. I'd just been treating him like he was, and everyone else had followed my lead. Now that I was gone, they could finally see him. I typed it out 100 times. I'm sorry, I was wrong, I see it now. I didn't mean to hurt you, I was careless. Can we please talk? I miss you. I realize now what I had, but I never sent any of them. Because what was the point? Sorry didn't undo the damage. Sorry didn't erase the months of small cuts. Sorry didn't change the fact that I'd fundamentally misunderstood what it meant to love someone. So I kept my apologies to myself and watched him move on without me. So here I am, single, blocked from the friend group, watching my ex-boyfriend thrive online while I sit in the comments like a ghost. People keep asking me what happened. I tell them, I wasn't trying to hurt him, I just joked differently. But I guess men can't handle honesty these days. I say it with confidence, with the same self-righteousness I started with. But alone, in Maya's apartment, I whisper the truth. I didn't think words could lock a door behind me. I wipe my face, still half convinced I was right, still wanting to believe that he overreacted, still telling myself that it was just one comment, just one joke, just one moment. But I know better now. It wasn't one moment. It was 1,000 tiny moments, 1,000 small dismissals, 1,000 ways of saying you're not enough while claiming I was joking. And he collected them all, carried them all, until he couldn't carry them anymore. So he put me outside, made me feel what it's like to be shut out, made me sit in the cold while the world moved on without me. And the worst part? The absolute worst part? I still catch myself thinking, he wasn't that attractive anyway. Still catch myself justifying it. Still catch myself rewriting history so I'm the victim. He's only getting attention now because people feel sorry for him. Those girls commenting are just being nice. He's milking this for sympathy. Because admitting the alternative is too hard. Admitting that I was wrong, that I was cruel, that I lost something real because I couldn't see past my own ego. So I'll keep telling people he overreacted. Keep saying it was just a joke. Keep pretending I don't check his Instagram every single day. Keep pretending it doesn't hurt to see him happy without me. Keep pretending I don't know exactly what I did wrong. Because the truth is too painful. The truth is, I had someone who loved me, and I made him feel worthless. I had someone who stayed, and I made him want to leave. I had someone who saw me, and I refused to see him. And now he's gone, and I'm here. Sitting on Maya's couch, refreshing Instagram, watching him get everything I said he'd never have, watching him be seen by everyone except the one person who should have seen him all along. Me. And maybe that's exactly what I deserve.